Hello, 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 and welcome back to the channel. I just recently finished feeding the fish, gave them a pack of bloodworms, and they gobbled it right up, nice and joyfully. And while they were feeding, I happened to notice a little scud just kind of wandering around on the ground. And so I got a little curious and I decided to record it. I think I picked up these scuds initially when I purchased the moss ball that you see back here. And I saw a couple of scuds just kind of scurrying off and, doing their own thing. I wasn't really sure if they were going to survive or not, but I have seen scuds in the colony. I mean, in the gravel. They're just living over here, especially I'll occasionally see like a scud popping up against the glass. But this particular scud seems to have climbed underneath this anarchus here, and he's hiding out. I'm not sure if he's gonna pop his head out again. You might have seen him at the start of the video. But just to talk a little bit about scuds, I think scuds are pretty cool. They are sort of like shrimps, but not really shrimps because they don't have a carapace, which means like a front section, like sort of like the Amano shrimp has like that front top shell. Maybe I could get an Amano here under. Oh, look, it just popped its head out. Cute little guy. I think he's just trying to look for a place to hide and maybe eat a little bit. I think he's probably eating some of the detritus underneath that plant. So I went over to the aquarium today and I asked the owner about scuds and asked him if he knew. Wait, is that a. Come on, what is that on my. I see like a little blur there. Anyway, I asked him about scuds, and scuds, they're not bad. They're not harmful. Oh, yeah, and there's an Amano shrimp right there. You kind of see how over at its eyes, it's got that whole, those rings of shells, and it has that one long one. That's the carapace. So the scud, they only have the little segments without the long endy point at the front. And you can kind of see his eye over there. It's really interesting that his eyes, like, stand out so much, but he's just kind of like wandering his head around, poking his head, probably eating down there, enjoying his meal, and might make a run for it pretty soon. I'm not sure where he's planning to go. I didn't feed the fish too many bloodworms, but what I did try to do in order to help out the scuds is I began, rather than feeding them in the daytime, I started changing the feeding time closer to midday so that hopefully by the end of the night the fish aren't as hungry and they rest a little bit better, and the scuds have a little more time to just kind of wander about at night and get their eating in. So as I was mentioning, I went over to the local fish store and I spoke with the guy about scuds. He showed me his shrimp tank, which only has little tiny like cherry shrimps and the blue ones, which are very pretty. I think they're a little bit too small for this particular tank though. I'm worried that like maybe the Amanos and the guppies might bully them, but I saw in there a lot of scuds. They were just all swimming out and about, and it's really interesting how the behavior of these particular guys changes so dramatically based on who's in the tank. So in this case, I believe the guppies will try to eat them. I have seen a couple of scuds swimming about on occasion, and the guppies chasing after them. Thus far, I haven't seen the guppies catch any scuds yet, but I'm sure it happens. And so because of that, I'm sure that the ones that haven't been caught have learned to try to avoid being out in the open when the light is on. So they probably are just managing to, do their own thing at nighttime. I don't know why this guy is out and about at this particular time of the day. It's like 4 or 5 p.m. right now. But it seems like he's enjoying himself down there. This particular anarchus root looks like maybe it didn't survive and it's possibly dead. And the reason I didn't pull it out is mostly because I know that I have scuds in the tank. I also have bladder snails, and they do eat this kind of stuff. So why take away their food source? They'll take care of it eventually. The only thing that I'm a little bit not too sure about are these little leaflets that are kind of floating. You kind of see like these little leaf particles that kind of broke off and they're just floating about. I'm not entirely sure how I want to deal with them quite yet, but we'll see. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the update. And yeah, hopefully this guy gets his little meal in and manages to, not get caught on his way back home.